All right. It's grand finals time. We've got BYUN in the top right side of the map representing Shopify Rebellion. His opponent in the bottom left harassing the heck out of him right now with a probe. It is, of course, Storm Gaming's MAXPAX. Going for a Cybercore into Nexus, as he always does. And BYUN opening up with a Reaper. I feel like both of these build orders are not made for this map. So already I feel like the players are maybe a bit more inexperienced on this map than I expected. Reaper is really not great on this map because there's no way into the base except through here. There's no ledge. So yeah, it's a mobile scouting unit. It can gain some value, but you're never going to scout what their tech is. There is absolutely no way to scout the tech if the Protoss wants to block it. And we can already see an Adept coming out here. He's going to run into that Reaper. Doesn't chase it at all with his Shade. Oh, he's going to wall off with the Gateway. Look at that. Nicely done. So easy to block the Scout. And a third Command Center on the high ground for BYUN. Mega Greed. It's a great map for very greedy builds. I don't mind it. I don't know what this Adept is doing, guys. MAXPAX. What the hell? He's meant to click here. He accidentally clicked in the wrong spot on the minimap. Oh, oof. Bit of a derpy derp. Hey, the Reaper's coming back. It's going to see him. Nope, not quite. And the Adept comes in. Could have definitely done some damage if it went in earlier. Because there was no bunker and it was Reaper into Reactor. So he lets BYUN get away with a very not solid opening. At least he does deny BYUN scouting. Robo and Twilight on the way. So this is going to be a Dark Templar drop. Yeah. It's a very quick Robo, guys. So it's a good idea on this map. There's many drop paths. Lots of ways you can abuse the opponent. Really cool build order to mix in. Two more gateways are on the way. Second and third barracks now coming in. How does the 3-racks build normally do against Dark Templar drop? Well, if he goes for an early engineering bay upgrade, which players sometimes do with this, he can build turrets reactively and I think he'll be fine. But obviously a big factor is the luck on when did you last drop your mules. And you could say luck, there's also sometimes skill, because sometimes you purposefully hang on to those save scans in case. But I would say more often than not, it's just, did you happen to drop mules yet? If you just happen to drop mules when you notice the Dark Templar, then you're kind of screwed. But if you were about to drop a next cycle, you've got that energy, then it's way better for you. So we've got a third gateway as well as a third Nexus starting behind this. The Prism is finally out. Don't tell me the Reaper scouts it. That would be so lucky for him. No, he doesn't see it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, you know, that's the worst thing, but it's pretty rare to have a unit standing right in that position. So who knows, maybe that'll change just to scout the drop path in future. Oh, that's a big old pyramid. Oh, they don't have the holes on this map on this version, do they? Oh no, there's a hole there and a pyramid there, right? Alright guys, 3 Dark Templar coming in. Turrets are already building. BYUN is completely ready for this build. Doesn't have any scans available though. No scans available. Dark Templar working on these SCVs, not killing the one that's actually on the turret though. Could have potentially killed those Marines. 2 Dark Templar in the main, grabbing even more damage. Oh, really nicely done. I think if he attacks from the right side, he could kill that bunker. Good harassment though, and MAXPAX has a third up behind it. Link on the way. He's going to go for a Forge, and then a 4th gas Robo Bay will be in the near future. Oh, terrible battery positioning. Really bad wall off, guys. That just walls off the opening here, which means his units have to go around the right side of the Nexus to get in and out of the main. That is a very bad battery, and I don't think he realizes what he's done there. Now, Reaper's going to try and scout the tower. There is an Archon there. MAXPAX going to drop the Archon on top. Not able to get it, though. All right. How many Marines are there? 2 Marauders, 13 Marines. Archon drop could do massive damage here. Massive damage. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh, stimming into it. A little questionable. I think he could have stayed in fort and killed a few more units even, MAXPAX. But it doesn't matter. Like, just great trades anyway. He kills a whole bunch of Marines, 8 Marines, 8 SCVs. He's only lost that 1 Adept at the start of this game. He's going to drop on top, which is a very bad move. Kills a few Marines though, so not the end of the world. He'll unload on the tower, and if BYUN doesn't watch, the Reaper will go down. BYUN is watching though. Third command center floats out. MAXPAX sees the third is down. And he does not have a Robo Bay yet. He's just going up in the gateway count. So more of a Stalker Zealot style for now. He's got 6 Stalkers out. They're going to move forward and start harassing. While the Archon drop probably going to be rotating around the back, I would imagine. I really feel keeping the Archon drop as harassment is its best usage. Just keep working that left angle. I'm kind of surprised BYUN's moving out here rather than just turtling up. And it's not that hard to clear those minerals. Turret does get a few hits off on the Prism. Prism's still got 50 hit points though. Stalker's coming in, going to pick off a couple of Marines. MAXPAX, wrong direction to blink. You need to blink to the bottom right. Loses 2 Stalkers there, not really worth. Archons on the Marauders though. If you distract and your Archons find big damage, then it definitely was worth. Good pullback by Clem. Sorry, BYUN. I was casting Clem just before. Only lost 1 Marauder, saved the other. Templar Archives is on the way. MAXPAX getting extra gateways. So he's going to go up to 9 gateways and a 4th Nexus. It feels like MAXPAX is ahead in this game. 5 barracks, 2nd engineering bay and armory on the way. Stalker's trying to come forward. Holy crap, what is that? Is that a planet? Can you see through to another planet? Look down there, guys. I never realized there's another planet back there. Are we on a platform? Oh my god, yeah, you can see the edge of the planet through the hole. Anyways, let's pay attention to the game. Storm is on the way, and there are a few High Templar warping in to gather up energy. Looks like an observer spots that army pretty well. Ghost Academy has not started yet. 4th Command Center double upgrades before Ghost Academy. Against the Psy Storm Archon Zealot style, you really want Ghosts. But with the right positioning, Bio can always get it done. 3 High Templar trying to hang out right now. 4th Nexus on the left. 20 workers there. I'd like to see some probes move up to the left as well. 4th Command Center building. 4 more depots building. Ghost Academy as well. I keep saying as well. Let's try and rein that in. 2nd Forge going down for MAXPAX. He's adding a Sentry for Guardian Shield as well. 3 High Templar in the Warp Prism. Ship Weapons is already on the way. I mean, this is what this map normally goes to, is extreme greed. Both players being like, haha, I will take a fast 3rd, I'll take a fast 4th. It really leads to giant macro games. It's very hard to actually push through. Fire trying to start a step to the right side. We've got the High Templar in the Prism trying to come in, but the drops pick up, boost out of there. Nicely done. Observer over the path, Zealots on the right side. Looks like there's a bit of a fiery infestation down there, whatever the hell's going on. Armor upgrade coming in now for MAXPAX. We'll need to round out those. But look at this spready for BYUN. I don't think you can attack here. I mean, Hero might be able to win from here, but with the Terran ahead in army supply, him knowing you're coming, I just don't think there's much of a shot. These Widow Mines are going to start causing problems. I like that we see observers building. I want to see MAXPAX build like 6 observers. On a big map like this, where you're not as worried about dying in the early game, I really feel like just letting Widow Mines get value is a big reason why Protoss players lose. Storm, Storm, Storm! Okay, he gets a decent Storm on the south side, but he's going to have to pull back. Oh, big warp into the Zealots. 10 more Zealots warping in. Stalker's taking out Medivacs there. Big snipes on the Medivacs in the middle of the fight. Sorry, guys, for the movement there on the camera. More Zealots coming in. There's still another High Templar. 1 more Storm is waiting. If the Zealots can break through, there's not much healing left. Storm on the SCVs would be a big one. In the mineral line on the SCVs would be massive. He does it on the bio. MAXPAX says, I don't want to just kill workers. I want to win the goddamn game. More Zealots walking in on the left, and he actually manages to bust through. Not enough EMP, apparently. Not enough bio and Widow Mines. Wow, MAXPAX with a lovely +2 timing. All right. We got Storm Gaming's MAXPAX on the bottom right side of the map playing Protoss. Great start to the series for him. BYUN gets his barracks down on time, but already taking a fair bit of damage. This SCV says, taste my drill, as he tries to defend his brother. Ooh, you don't really want to be building this with a red hit point SCV, but it's going to just try and repair him to defend him. Yeah, not too bad. Gateway's on the way, Chrono Boost behind it, as well as the gas guys are coming in. Probe dancing around. Shields are back at full, and it continues to harass. Oh. So he's already succeeded in delaying the barracks by about 5 seconds in total. This delays the orbital and the Reaper coming out in the pressure. I really like doing this and then going Nexus before Cybercore, because it even though my Adept's a little later, I've delayed the Reaper and I've messed with their build a little bit. And you can see already, he's already at 56 gas. Reaper's meant to start at 126. It starts at 133. To be fair, it's a Marine, not a Reaper. But nonetheless, very successful. Now, at about a minute 40 is where they can potentially hit 400 minerals. Because MAXPAX was harassing from early on, forcing SCVs off the line, it's a little bit later that he gets the money, but nonetheless gets blocked by a few extra seconds, and it is a Marine into Reactor build. I love Marine into Reactor on maps where you have a ramp, because 3 Marines can easily defend an Adept or a Stalker. By the time they get a second unit there, you'll be at least at 5 Marines with a 6th and a 7th soon behind it. So very nice way to play. And it is going to be a second barracks. I was going to say it also goes well into 3 barracks play. BYUN doesn't have to play 3 barracks. It might just be a 2-1-1 style. And actually, he pulled off gas a little bit there as well. Very mineral focused 3 racks. Nice optimizations for BYUN. Twilight Council will go down here. You can see he started Warp Gate. That delays Stargate build. So that's why he would not have gone Warp Gate if he was going for that. Big thank you, Himarax, for the sub. If you guys are in girls enjoying the game, please do click the sub button. Really appreciate those of you being generous. Haven't really been doing many shout outs because I've been a bit low energy today, but I want to say a massive thanks to those who've been supporting anyway, and I'll really focus on giving my all in this cast. If it makes it to YouTube, check out the Patreon down below in the description. Do us a big favor on that. Uh-oh. Careful, MAXPAX. But, oh, great pullback timing by BYUN. Yeah, sometimes chasing there gets you in trouble. That second Adept kind of ambushes you, and it looks good for Terran, and then they don't quite kill the Adept and lose 2 or 3 Marines, but this seems okay for BYUN. He's got the 5 Marines. He's got 2 more on the way. Stim does start behind it, and Dark Templar again! Oh, I think the Terrans are going away from Raven builds since the Interference Matrix nerf, and because a lot of the Protoss are also not going Colossus, they're going Storm. Because we're seeing less Raven as a result of those 2 factors, Dark Templar may come back into the meta in a big way. Also, maybe he just knows that BYUN hasn't been doing Raven openings. Might not be a broader Terran thing. MAXPAX might just know that, hey, BYUN especially, specifically has this issue. I think he defended my DT drop really poorly last game, even though he built turrets. Let's see if I can take advantage of him again. Now, obviously this could do great. On the other hand, 3 racks is going to hit a very fearsome timing. And if BYUN can save enough scans, he might be able to just kill you with the attack. Uh-oh. Ooh, the Marines pull back just before they spot the Prism. That is unfortunate for BYUN and very fortunate for MAXPAX. MAXPAX is building another pylon at the front, but he doesn't have a battery or a sentry. And he's warping in 3 Dark Templar on the front. Shit's about to hit the fan. There's no other way to say it. If BYUN drops a scan right now, he's screwed because he just has no scans available. But if he can depower the 2 gates at the front, there's only 1 gate left in the main, and he basically just wins the game. Catches MAXPAX Adepts out here. MAXPAX Adepts trying to walk away. BYUN is so busy looking at home, he wasn't even attacking them for a moment. Dark Templar running over the top of his production. Prism's a little slow to respond. He's got to unload, unload, unload. He does unload the Dark Templar, saves the Prism with that. Those Dark Templar could start doing damage. He stims after these units here. MAXPAX with Dark Templar warp-ins looking great. He's doing massive damage, but there's still a scan available. Force field goes down. It's going to force him to stop to kill the gateways. If this Immortal comes out, I think it can stop this push. But oh, that pylon was the only thing powering it. The probe's going in too early. And MAXPAX trying to recall a Dark Templar right now, but the probes cannot fight this. The Stim Bio is way too powerful. And even though MAXPAX has a 3rd base up, does it really matter? Oh, it doesn't quite kill that Marauder. Needs a 2nd hit on it. And what, just a small set of Marine Marauder left over, but it's enough to win the game. Even with a Prism and another Dark Templar out, that's such a bummer. Does BYUN micro for the one last probe kill? No, he doesn't. Alright, he's got to send this Prism and this Dark Templar back into harass. This Dark Templar doing crazy amounts of damage, but BYUN should be able to defend this. He starts a turret in the mineral line. MAXPAX, of course, probing like mad, making charge. He has an Immortal up now as well. Three gateways are up. The Marines moving out for another push. A scary push. If he catches this, he kills them and wins the game. But he doesn't catch them. And it ends up being... Oh, God. Oh, no. The Immortal. Stay at home, Immortal. It's going to be a double Archon drop against next to no defense. There's 3 turrets around, but no actual Marines. Can an Immortal, a Zealot, and a Shield Battery defend these Marines? If they run into the third, I think it's probably the best bet for BYUN. Kill the probes, kill the third. Gonna take a lot of damage at home, though. Once again, poop hits the fan, guys. Duck and cover, ladies and gentlemen. Duck and cover. Nice Archon Prism Micro. He's going to try and drop on top of the Marines, but you do not want to lose those Archons. And a good pullback timing from MAXPAX. Gets 11 SCVs and a bunch of Marines. He does lose his third Nexus and a few probes on it, but I actually think he's on top now, believe it or not. BYUN seems to just be struggling to handle the Dark Templar Prism Micro. The Invisible Man's back. Oh, not the best force field, guys. Oh, no, a bit too slow to heal that. But actually, it's still alive. The battery is still powered. And the Immortal takes forever to kill Marines. They're all so low. The probes need to fight. Oh, but I thought MAXPAX was good. He just needed anything else there helping to defend, but he ends up tapping out. What was going on? Did he lose his Prism as well? He's up 10 workers. But his gateways at the front just keep getting depowered, and this is the problem with having all your production at the front of your base. He just couldn't spend his money. GG, well played. The series is tied up. Losing his production way too many times, getting frustrated. Maybe he could have abandoned the natural, but having your Robo 2 gates there, you only had one gateway in the main, and he'd already used recall earlier for a Dark Templar, so I believe it was still on cooldown. If he could recall the Archon drop home, he would have been fine. But I think it was still off cooldown. He's just kind of like, what can I do? Warp in one Stalker? Technically, he could have ran away because those Marines probably would have all died to one Stalker. They couldn't stim anymore. But I think MAXPAX was just a bit frustrated. Like, in those scenarios, your instincts kick in and they're like, build units, do this, do that. And you keep trying to do it. And it just, oh, I can't warp in. Oh, I don't have any gate. Oh, everything's depowered. Oh, everything's depowered again. I did think MAXPAX was getting back in the lead. But, yeah, unfortunately, just not quite able to defend that natural there. And as we saw, the power of those Stim Combat Shield Marines just a little bit too much for him. Now, he did once again probe harass at the very start, and this kind of counters a Proxy Racks build because you scout so early, you can send a worker out and catch it in this position before it finishes, and you just have knowledge of exactly what the Terran's up to. It costs you money sending the scout across at the very start, but I remember when Hero first started doing this every game, and I was like, that seems like it costs a lot of money. And then I was like, actually, you're only sending the probe across, 30 seconds earlier or 50 seconds earlier than normal. But it's so much more annoying for the Terran to deal with, and it's so much better against things like proxies and eBay blocks. Factory goes down. It's going to go for a second depot as well. MAXPAX backing away with the probe, realizing that Reaper's going to come out. So he's got to head home now if he wants to keep this probe alive. Going to chrono an Adept forwards across the map for the scout. BYUN going for a reactor after the Reaper. I don't think we'll see Dark Templar 3 games in a row. I'm pretty sure BYUN's going to play a Raven this time. Command Center goes down on BYUN's natural. The Reaper enters the fray. Does the Adept stay at home to defend it? Yes, it does. Oh! BYUN's being very risky right now. I believe there's a jump-in path out the top. No, there is not. That's a dead Reaper, mate. If he can't use this ledge correctly, he's dead. Oh! Barely gets the combat drugs out. He does jump in and see the Twilight Council. But he also loses the Reaper, and I think MAXPAX is quite okay with that. Twilight Council is a pretty middle-of-the-road tech. Cyclone, it's not a bad idea here. You can skip the bunker if you go for the Cyclone, because it can shut down Adepts really easily. And a second barracks on the way before Starport. To me, this says early tank push. I think we might even see a combat shield push. Maybe not combat shields. It's been a while since we've seen that, but maybe stim? No combat shields, just like single tech lab push or something like that. Oof. So yeah, I think we're going to see a siege tank and then maybe even a third barracks. Interesting. He's definitely not going for a Raven, by the way. So if it was Dark Templar, BYUN might be in trouble. Yeah, he's already building siege tanks. I think this is just a big all-in. MAXPAX is once again building all of his production on that natural pylon. Very vulnerable to early tank pushes. Because normally tanks need to get sieged in, range of the Nexus, and kill this big 2,000 hit point structure to really do damage. Allows Protoss to buy a lot of time. But here, you just need to kill this pylon. And basically, Protoss is dead. Second siege tank queued up already. Oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my. BYUN is going to start prioritizing Marines and Stim over SCVs. Look at that. Not even building SCVs right now. He's just dropping mules. Queues up a few more SCVs. Stim does start. He's focused on just killing MAXPAX, and it's a very committed attack. Now, this Observer got chrono boosted, which is great. It'll give him warning of what's happening. Unfortunately, he's going for a Warp Prism, which is not useful against this. Immortal is much better. Let's kill a probe out there with that Cyclone. Observer goes forwards. Did get F2'd home for a moment. Got to be careful about that. What's he doing? Delayed starport, is it? No, delayed third barracks. Ah. Guess he could put that on this tech lab potentially, right? It's going to be a 3 siege tank move out. He's not building Marines right now. He's actually prioritizing SCVs over Marines. So maybe BYUN is going to play a macro game. Like maybe he'll still commit to the push at least a bit, but he might just look for a cancel on the third. Yeah, he's building an engineering bay. Expect a starport to go down in the near future. Factory's now going to swap off, right? A 4th tank would be a wild commitment. He's not moving out. He's just playing Mega Turtle. Okay. BYUN's just playing super duper safe. And I mean, MAXPAX sees multiple tanks and Marines spread across. He should know there's nothing there. Looks like Cyclone finally goes down. That Cyclone killed at least 1 probe, if not 2. Third Nexus is decently timed for MAXPAX. And he's building more Observer. 1 or 2 more, which is good. Stalkers are going to come in. Not going to find any damage there. As he blinks forward, takes out a single SCV. Loses a Stalker for it. Great defense by BYUN. There's no way to find damage here. Not serious damage anyway. Gonna grab 1 SCV. Okay, gets 2 SCVs, gets in and gets out. The Stalker does. Ooh, almost gets shot by that tank, but its turret was still turning when it got out of range. Charge and Forge plus 5 more gateways. It's gonna be an 8-gate charge follow-up. 1 sentry, 2 sentries warping in. Do we see an Immortal next? Starport is starting the first 2 medevacs. BYUN making a massive units here. I think BYUN was hoping MAXPAX would 4-gate blink in with this build. It's going to be a fearsome 7-minute 30 push. First Immortals on the way. Charge will be ready in time for this. Observer does get taken down. I'd love to see this Observer move forward as well. I like the Adept on the right, watching for any drops sneaking out the right side. Stalkers trying to hang out here. That 1 Stalker that already blinked is a little bit later on the cooldown, but he gets to it anyway. Zealot drop going into the main base. Charge is almost finished. We've got 8 gates on the way. Robo Bay as well. Stalker's trying to move backwards. Marine Marauder tank doing exactly what it can. Zealots in the main base. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, Prism's going to try and rotate around the right side. Stalkers trying to pull back as best they can right here. Marine Marauder siege tank coming forwards. Ouch! More Stalkers getting tagged by those Marauders and going down. The Zealot drop's keeping BYUN pinned at home, but it has to be all about the defense. He misses his force field and lets a lot of the bio slip away. Unfortunate mistake there for MAXPAX, but man, his Prism Micro is out of this world. He just keeps rotating. High ground, low ground, high ground, low ground. And BYUN's not able to really kill him on the front. He's constantly stimming his bio around at home, which means the medevacs are going to have to use a lot of juice healing them up. But BYUN does have a 3rd command center on the way. But you know what? 4th is already starting for MAXPAX. He does chrono boost his Robo Bay, but didn't quite have the money to actually get the Viagra there. So he's going to have to make sure he selects that upgrade. Hopefully he goes back to chrono it again and notices. Because forgetting that extended thermal lance for an entire game is something we see far too often. Phoenix sees the armies all sitting at home. Time to recall, mate. There's 2 Vikings about to pop out. MAXPAX, it's only a matter of time until a Terran worth his salt will punish you for being this aggressive with the Warp Prism. And look at that, he even stacks the Vikings, so he didn't give it away, yet MAXPAX noticed. MAXPAX awareness is so good, he actually noticed the Vikings fly up on him, even while doing everything else. Saves the Warp Prism with the Zealots inside, and of course does get that home to continue aggression later on. 27 Zealots are on the map. Extended Thermal Lance, the Viagra was remembered. 2nd Colossus ejects itself from the Robo. Will we see a 3rd one? Only time will tell. I would imagine. Very rare you see pros go for anything less than 3 Colossus. I do like an earlier swap to Disruptors than some of them do, though. Zealot for a Widowmine, not a bad trade there for MaxPax. He's got to be careful, though. The Colossus are up in his business. The Vikings are up in the business of his Colossus. Ooh, I would have liked to see him focus down a few Widowmines on the pullback there. Zealot drop goes back and on the left, as well as a Zealot run by from the front. One of the tanks gets picked off by Zealots, the rest taking a lot of damage. Zealot warping in the main is pretty big. So many SCVs going down. MaxPax jamming his Colossus in on top of that army. The Immortals taking out the tanks. The Colossus are getting taken out by the Vikings, though. So some parts of that fight, good for MaxPax. Some parts, not good. This part here, very, very good. Ooh, here bad. Here bad. Here good. Here good. This is what I call analytical commentary, guys. If you want to hire me to cast your tournament, just remember, send me a message on my MySpace page, and I'll be happy to do it for shoutouts. Anyways, Zealots looking for the surround on that army as best they can. Dude, this Prism harass has been a nightmare to deal with. He built Vikings to deal with it. MaxPax ruins BYUN's economy. Now, all he needs to do is survive. The fact that he's making probes worries me. That is the last thing you should be doing. You just killed 50 workers, mate. All you need to do is defend against his army. And he's only got one robo and he's only got 8 gates. And he's not making any more defense. He should be making cannons and batteries, which thankfully he's doing a little bit of that. He should be putting cannons and batteries and gateways and army everywhere. MaxPax, I feel like he's just a little bit on autopilot in this game. I mean, BYUN's so on the back foot, he can't even do anything. He doesn't even get to counterattack. Okay, wow, MaxPax is all over him. Never mind. Dark Templar, the finishing blow there for MaxPax. All right, up here in the top right side, Sidestorm Gaming's MaxPax on fire today. Takes out Cure 2-0. He's up against BYUN 2-1. And I really feel like PvT has been feeling a little bit better in the early and middle stages. I do feel like the mid to late game can get a little bit rough for Protoss if they're not already in a very good position. But MaxPax, man, he secures fantastic positions, and BYUN needs to, I don't know, think about whatever the hell Clem's been doing. You need to do that, because Clem has been beating MaxPax more often than losing by quite a bit recently. And he seems to be the one player that's able to just smash everyone. I mean, Clem's been destroying. He's been on an absolute tear. Him losing to BYUN earlier in a very close series, where BYUN basically took some very well-picked, decisive marine shoves into defensive tank positions. And I guarantee you Clem was kind of mad, because Clem was trying to play a style that's not usually his strength, the more defensive tank Viking style. And BYUN took advantage by just attacking and overwhelming, and there was a lot of times where Clem had the numbers, they just weren't quite in the right positions. You know, he just didn't quite have enough support defending his bases, and BYUN took these very... What I didn't... Like, there was a lot of fights, even with God Vision, you know, being the observer, the caster, I would not have picked them as good engagements for him. But he committed to them and took very decisive fights, and it was kind of his secret to success. So BYUN managed that close victory over Clem, but now he finds himself up against the Protoss bastion of Europe, the Danish beast, the monster, MaxPax. Reactor coming out, man. Reactor after Marine. BYUN going 3 racks again. Wow, okay. Interesting. All right, guys, we're going to gamble during this early game as the Zealot pressure comes across. Overheard in BYUN's room after game 3. In quotes, he got me. BYUN said of MaxPax's Warp Prism Micro, that effing MaxPax boomed me. BYUN added, he's so good, repeating it 4 times. He's so good, he's so good, he's so good. BYUN then said he wanted to add MaxPax to the list of players he works out with this summer. I have no idea what that copy-paste is, but interesting to see. Thank you, Keybrit, for the sub. Really appreciate it. Uh-oh. That command center is looking mighty exposed. Zealot into Adept pressure pretty good here against this. And he's going to get rid of 2 of those SCVs. The Zealot's coming into tank. Gets rid of one of the Marines and 2 SCVs. If he can get 1 more SCV, might be worth losing the Adept. And he does. Big denial on the command center. Now, does he realize that there's a 2nd and 3rd barracks, I wonder? Is he like, there shouldn't be 5 Marines yet. That seems like too many. I think it's very hard to make that judgment from this. But it is the same build order that BYUN already used this series. So perhaps BYUN's lack of creativity could bite him in the butt. 2nd gate into a robo here. Our 3rd gateway looks like it will go down momentarily. Oh, Adept gets intercepted by the Marines, and they're going to get him just before she finishes shading. Stim, shields, and the 4 Marines building at a time. It is 3-gate blink, which is absolutely safe versus this if you realize what's happening. But definitely doesn't feel like the Observer is going to give him early warning or anything like that this time. And moving out with Stalkers to see things ahead of time will be good. You just got to be careful because blink is still 40 seconds away. About there. Obviously, Chrono Boost. I'm trying to account for Chrono Boost. Basically, about 4:45 is when we expect that to finish. Uh-oh. MAXPAX running up the ramp, getting intercepted. Trading a Stalker for a Marine, not a great trade, but he does get the information, and that is very important. Notice that BYUN here queues up 2 Marauders, cancels them, and builds Marines. Interesting. So he just said, look, I've been spotted. Let's not go for 4 Marauders. Let's get the factory. Let's get the extra second gas. Let's keep building SCVs. So BYUN is not committing too crazy hard now. MAXPAX, oh man. Okay, MAXPAX really wanted to pin him back on the defense. Not able to. He's going to have to cancel his 3rd base, I believe. I like the battery. I like the sentry. As long as he is prepared to cancel his 3rd if need be and just turtle up on that natural, he could do this. 4 SCV kills already. Gateway goes down. It's not going to buy much time. Going to get clicked down almost instantly. He's going to try and bring back some more units. Ooh, I would have liked that force field to be just half a second later so that the units would get split. Good Stalker micro, though. With the battery coming up, I think that's a pretty decent trade. You denied a lot of mining time. You only killed 4 SCVs. But there was mules on that natural as well that weren't able to do their stuff. Good micro by MAXPAX. He doesn't lose the gateway. That's his main goal here. Is he's like, I'd rather lose a Stalker or 2 than that gateway right now, man. Good blink micro. Not as good. Did blink like 4 Stalkers at once there. Better to do them individually so you can use it to dodge mid-air projectiles from the Marauders. Tail end of that's still fantastic for MAXPAX though. 3rd base survives. He's got 3 gateways. He's going to be going for more Stalkers to go contest on the map. BYUN is continuing to push out without medevacs. This is a madman's move. If MAXPAX is surprised and shocked and a bit too slow to react, it can work out. I mean, he lost 1 Stalker there, but MAXPAX! BYUN is so desperate right now. BYUN is literally making an objectively bad play, and it's only going to work if MAXPAX decides to load 4 Stalkers up and go for a drop across the map. I don't know why he's doing that right now. MAXPAX is making this way harder for himself than he needs to. He's going to fly in and try to micro 2 situations at once. BYUN's push is so bad, but he's getting kind of not as dead as he could be. I mean, MAXPAX micro, I got to hand it to him. MAXPAX made that as hard for himself as he possibly could, and he handled it really well. He's now got lots of Stalkers on the front. I don't think the risk was necessary there. I think he made it hard for himself. At the same time, I think he handled that hard situation. He realized he could handle that, and that's why we love Maximus the Paximus. Him with a big old Stalker push here. Nice Prism micro as well. And as the stim wears out, the Stalker micro is still pretty good. BYUN has to turn and run. He has to turn and run. This is petering out for him. The Stalkers are going to chase him down. Nice focus fire for BYUN. He kills a lot of the Stalkers, but he's got nothing behind it. And the 3-gate Blink Stalker aggression is just too good. Units lost tab in MAXPAX's favor. His Prism micro combined with his Blink micro truly is next level. And he's going to take a 3-1. And what a dominating 3-1 as well. MAXPAX is just on point lately. Man, it'd be an absolute travesty if we don't see him at the next few LAN events. I don't know, we say this every time, but he's just so good right now. I really want to see what he could do at LAN. 4th Nexus building behind it. Charge. 5 more gateways all on the way. And yet he's basically won the game with his Stalker pressure. Warps in a few Zealots to back it up with charge. And BYUN is just hanging on by a finger's length. He's barely hanging on by his fingernails. He's getting overwhelmed. Zealot Stalker coming on in. Let's go! We don't mind. Was kind of dodged there by the Prism. The Zealot Stalker doing exactly what it can. Stalkers trying to gun down. A little bit of focus fire on those last few Marauders might be enough, but he's just focusing on defensive Stalker micro. Zealots tearing up the SCVs. BYUN has to tap out. MAXPAX on fire today. And he actually looked dominant against BYUN. Very impressive play by MAXPAX.